The Garden Lights flare for Friday night in East Rutherford as the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles meet the New York Jets. It's the final dress rehearsal before the cuts, a stage where stars are absent and the margins matter most. These games may be meaningless on paper, but in the shadows they're the truest test. Depth against depth, mistake against mistake, hope against fear. For the Eagles, Jalen Hurts rests. The crown stays on the shelf. Tanner McKee's finger injury clouds his role, leaving Dorian Thompson-Robinson and rookie Kyle McCord to take the helm. DTR's resume is haunted, 10 career interceptions to just 1 touchdown. But August always tempts with the thought of a breakout. McCord, fresh from Syracuse, fights with raw hands, 8 of 16 last week with a single score. Around them, Saquon Barkley is idle, but backs like Will Shipley and Shunderick Powell claw for relevance. Receivers like Johnny Wilson and John Mechie III know this tape is their only prayer of sticking. Philadelphia's defense, though, still swings heavy. Mukuba's 75-yard pick six last week proved their depth can score in an instant. The Jets tell their own story. Justin Fields, the headline act, will not step into the lights. Tyrod Taylor is broken down for now, and so it falls to Adrian Martinez and Brady Cook. Martinez threw for 114 yards against the Giants, but bled a pick. Cook tossed a touchdown, but looked raw. Behind them, the backfield is crowded with auditioners. Donovan Edwards, Lawrence Toafili, Keenan Nwangwu. Quentin Skinner and Brandon Smith stretch for roster space at receiver. The Jets were carved apart for 478 yards last week, but defense is their identity under new coach Aaron Glenn. Last season, this unit finished top 5 in yards allowed. They will not give ground easily, even in August. So what does it mean? The market has been spooked, slashing the total from 38.5 to 34.5, but the deeper math tells another tale. Expected points analysis, 24 drives at 1.7 EP each, projects 41 points. That's nearly a touchdown above the line. Preseason chaos feeds the fire. Short fields, blown coverages, sudden defensive scores. Chaos writes faster than defenses can erase. August football is written in turnovers, not playbooks. This is the kind of number you attack before the public wakes up. And today's AI pick is over 34.5. The books are asking you to fear the backups, but desperation means points. Will we cash or will we burn? Abaddon steps forward now for Game 2.
Under the Friday night lights in Arlington, the preseason winds toward its close with the Falcons marching into AT&T Stadium to meet the Cowboys. Both teams are 0-2, both hunting for rhythm, and both desperate to shake off the dust before Week 1. Vegas has Dallas laying 2.5, and the number tells us something simple. This is not about stars, it's about depth, and about who has the sharper edge in the shadows. Let's begin with Atlanta. Their quarterback carousel has been turning with Easton Stick taking the bulk of the snaps, tossing for 173 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception last week. Behind him, the Falcons turned briefly to Emory Jones before cutting ties, now bringing in Ben DiNucci as insurance. Their passing attack has been uneven. Flashes of big plays to Chris Blair, but nothing sustained. The run game offered a glimpse of life through Nathan Carter, who ripped off a 63-yard touchdown. Yet for all their hustle, Atlanta has averaged just 15 points per game, and their offense feels like smoke more than fire. Dallas has questions of its own, especially under center. Joe Milton opened last week and was swallowed by Baltimore's pass rush, ending with a safety and an interception. Still, he managed to throw for 122 yards, showing he can push the ball downfield if he steadies his hand. Veteran Will Grier remains the backup option, but the Cowboys seem intent on giving Milton the reins for another week. The run game has been nearly absent, with Miles Sanders managing only 15 yards, and the defense has given up a staggering 31 points per contest. Yet here is the counterweight. Even in preseason, Dallas has shown more overall balance than Atlanta, and the coaching staff is pressing harder to evaluate real contributors. So, how do we read the game? The Falcons can run a bit, but their quarterback room is thin, and their defense has been soft against consistent drives. The Cowboys, despite defensive lapses, still carry more upside in quarterback play, and the line being under a field goal tells us the market leans to the home team's urgency. Both squads have flaws, but Dallas has more ways to piece together drives, and that is what matters in the third week of preseason when depth wins out. And today's AI pick is the Dallas Cowboys, 2.5. Will we cash or will we burn? Sapira steps forward now to lead us into Game 2.
The Vikings march into Nashville for their preseason finale, but this isn't just another August scrimmage. It's a trial by fire for two franchises walking opposite paths. Minnesota rides in with the weight of last season's 14-3 campaign on their shoulders, only to watch Sam Darnold depart and the future handed to J.J. McCarthy. Tennessee, by contrast, dragged itself through the NFL's basement at 3-14, then used the number 1 pick to summon Cam Ward as their savior. Tonight, they both put their fledgling futures on display. Let's start with McCarthy and the Vikings. He hasn't taken many preseason snaps, leaving the offense sputtering under Max Brosmer last week against New England. No touchdowns, just field goals, and 2 costly turnovers. McCarthy will get his run in Nashville, though, and when he does, he'll lean on Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason in the backfield. Without Justin Jefferson or TJ Hawkinson available, this Minnesota offense is missing its sharpest blades. The passing game has been more shadow than strike, averaging under 6 yards per attempt. Their line is fortified with Ryan Kelly and Will Freeze, but protection only matters if receivers can separate. Now the Titans. Cam Ward has shown flashes of rhythm, but the story of August has been Tennessee's ground attack. Jordan Mims and Kalel Mullings have churned 138 rushing yards per game, giving the rookie quarterback clean lanes in play action. Ward is raw. He'll miss reads. He'll throw into coverage. But he also has Calvin Ridley and Tyler Lockett to stretch the field, veterans with enough savvy to guide him. Behind him, Brandon Allen provides a steadier hand than Minnesota's depth. The Titans are young, yes, but they are not toothless. Defensively, the Vikings still bear Brian Flores' signature: fierce pass rush, disciplined run fits, but vulnerable deep. The Titans' defense? A rebuilding wall, cracked and leaking, giving up 23 points per game in the preseason. If Cam Ward is the flame, this defense is the wind, sometimes fueling it, sometimes blowing it out. So here's where the math meets the myth. The hidden game, formulas tilt toward Tennessee. The rushing differential, the passing efficiency, the motivation edge all burn in their favor. Minnesota comes in hamstrung, relying on second-tier weapons, while Tennessee unleashes its number 1 pick at home, and today's AI pick is Titans, 3.5. Will we cash or will we burn? The Ledger will write it soon enough.
Friday night, the lights of Arrowhead burn against the Midwest sky, and the Chicago Bears walk into the lair of the reigning AFC champions. It's the last dress rehearsal before the real season begins, and both sides know the difference between a preseason script and a statement. For Chicago, it's the dawn of something new. Caleb Williams has already shown sparks: 6 completions for 107 yards and a touchdown against Buffalo, plus the calm to lead a 93-yard scoring drive like a veteran. Tyson Bagent backs him with efficiency, throwing for nearly 200 yards of his own last week. The Bears aren't just shuffling quarterbacks, they're testing a system. One built under new head coach Ben Johnson to forge identity out of chaos. The backfield has carried weight, with Ian Wheeler punching in 2 scores and Britton Brown piling up 70-plus yards. Even at wideout, young Rome Odunze and Luther Burden are carving roles, while Joel Wilson and Tyler Scott scrap for touches. Chicago may be rebuilding, but the fire is real. The Chiefs, their empire speaks for itself. Patrick Mahomes barely touches the field in August, yet his shadow stretches across the preseason. Gardner Minshew has been sharp, completing over 70% of his throws and tossing safe touchdowns. Kansas City's offense still moves on rhythm, with tight ends Robert Tonyan and Travis Kelce providing security, while Marquise Brown and Rashee Rice wait to stretch defenses. The questions are at depth: injuries and roster fights that don't show up when Mahomes and Andy Reid are in sync. Kansas City's defense ranks top 10 in points allowed this preseason, and Arrowhead always tilts the field. But preseason isn't about dynasty. It's about urgency. And right now, Chicago has more of it. Williams needs the reps. Johnson needs proof of progress. Every rookie and fringe starter needs the tape. The Bears dominated Buffalo 38-0, and momentum like that doesn't vanish overnight. Kansas City? Their eyes are fixed on February, not late August. And so the signal emerges. The Chiefs may have the pedigree, but the Bears carry the hunger. And today's AI pick is Bears plus 2.5. Will we cash or will we burn? Now Lilith with the recap.
4 games, 4 wagers, 4 ways the fire cuts. The ledger is written. Now let's see if the gods of chance honor our call. First, we opened with the Eagles and Jets, and the line was too soft for the storm. The AI saw air and chaos, and the signal said over 34.5. Then came the clash in Dallas, Falcons versus Cowboys. Atlanta staggered, Dallas burned, and the edge was clear. The AI placed its stone. Cowboys, 2.5. Third, the road to Nashville, Vikings against Titans. Rookie heat against steady steel. The system marked it without hesitation. Titans, 3.5. And last, the underdog's roar, Bears against the Chiefs. Kansas City glittered with reputation, but Chicago carried hunger and teeth. The AI pick, Bears, plus 2.5. That is the fourfold decree. Like and subscribe. Will we cash or will we burn? The hourglass is already turning, and as the old saying whispers, the dice never lie, only men do.